Please give a warm welcome to Ahmad Hamzawi.
Thank you very much. صباح الخير يا عمان، ازيكم؟ عاملين ايه؟ Everybody good? All right. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to actually walk you through a bunch of demos this morning. I hope you really enjoy them. So some of these demos actually my team have actually contributed towards, related specifically to the Middle East, North Africa. And some of the demos I'll be showing you are actually global demos, in addition to one thing I will show you at the end that is actually still in our research labs. Hasn't launched yet, and you probably haven't seen it before, and I'm really excited to show you that one. Okay, so first of all, actually, before I start, I remember Sebastian was asking people where people are from. So I want to find who actually, let's actually find out who actually took the longest to get here in terms of time. So whoever actually took longer than 1 hour to get here, just raise your hands. Okay, this is impossible. Okay, so do we have anybody from Lebanon here? Okay, so we have an issue already. Okay, so the question again is, how many hours did it take you to get here to this conference? Okay, so if anybody took longer than 1 hour, raise your hands. Amazing. Okay, we have one person. That's it? 2, 3, 4. Ah, everybody's shy. Okay, keep your hands up. How about 2 hours? Keep your hands up if it's longer than 2 hours to get here. That's it? Nobody. Okay, 2 hours, 3 hours. 3, 4. 4? More than 4? Okay, 4. Anybody higher than 4? Would you have 5? Do we have a 6? Any 6? Going once? Okay, so 5. Where are you from? Jordan. Okay, where in Jordan? Amman. Okay, so you'll have to, the capital. Okay, I see. Okay, so let's give him actually a mug. Took him 5 hours to get here. Okay. Okay, you have to explain that to us after this session. Okay. Wow, that was interesting. Okay. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about who we are as a team. So first of all, this is actually a picture of some of the engineers on actually my team right now. And in terms of offices right now that cover the Middle East and North Africa, what we have is Cairo, we have Dubai, we have offices in Europe, so we have an office in Zurich, London, Dublin, and then of course at our headquarters, which is Mountain View. So the engineering team, which is the team that I represent, we're actually split between Zurich and in Mountain View. I'm actually a Mountain View-based employee, but I'm currently on assignment in Switzerland, managing the team out of there. And so today there's about, I would say, roughly 30 people from Google here. We call them Googlers. And they're actually representing various different functions at Google. So we have people here from engineering, product management, sales, marketing, business development, policy, support. So there's a lot of people here that I really want you to kind of just grab when you're outside and just ask questions. You know, really, we're actually here to help you. And we actually want to learn from you. So it's really important that you talk with us. The last point I want to mention before I move on is in relation to the actual office situation. So I know this is really top of mind for many people. So currently, we do not have any engineering offices based in the region. And if any of you remember, about 2 years ago, we actually were planning to open an office here in Jordan, as a matter of fact. And some of you here may actually have interviewed for the positions there. Did anybody here interview for the positions? Okay, so we have a few people that interviewed. So those that actually raised your hand, let's also give them a mug. Because I have so many I need to get rid of, actually. So we're going to get rid of some more mugs later on. So the actual answer, just so you're all aware, is back in 2008, we had intended to open an office. The market kind of wasn't right. You might remember the economic situation back then. It wasn't really a good time for us to open an office. And in fact, we decided to close some of our smaller engineering offices and move their missions to larger offices. So at this point, we're still reevaluating the actual timing of when we're going to do that. But rest assured that the intention is still there to open an office in the region. One thing I want to very quickly point out is that we have this program at Google called GTUG. Okay? GTUG stands for Google Technology User Groups. And these are self-formed groups that passionate developers or people in general can actually create on their own. And it's a self-forming group. And it's really for those that are interested in Google technologies. You're really passionate. You're excited. You want to learn more about anything related to Google, related to open source. And so there's actually one chapter of GTUG here based in Amman. And so I urge you, if you're interested in learning more about what this group is up to, go ahead and go to amman.gtugs.org. Okay. So I'm going to actually switch over now to the demo part of this. And I'm just going to make sure my laptop can switch over. Can everybody see that in the back? Yes? Okay, great. So here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to first talk to you about search, some of our innovations in search. And search specifically is actually around the Arabic search, the specifics we've done specific to Arabic itself. Okay, so you might imagine if you're doing, say, searches on google.com, you might get a different search experience if you use, say, google.jo. Okay, so I'm actually going to walk you through a demo here. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a search for Barcelona, Real Madrid. Okay, we're going to do this query in Arabic and see what happens. Before I do that, how many people watched the recent Barcelona Real Madrid game? Wow, okay. So just like Wa'il was saying, a lot of sports fans. So a lot of people are actually doing a lot of searches related to, especially soccer, actually. So how many Barcelona fans in the room? Okay. How many Real Madrid fans? Okay, about 50-50, I guess. How many don't care about soccer? Ah, okay, that's why. Okay. So you're not going to really enjoy this demo, but I'm going to show it to you anyways. Okay. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to actually use one of our products internally called, or actually externally called Ta'rib. You may have heard of it. There's actually going to be more demonstrations of these later on. So what I'll do is I'll very quickly type Barcelona, Real Madrid, okay? And I'll search, okay? And what I'm going to see here basically is, of course, typical search results that you might see in Arabic, okay? Now, what I'm going to show you here is something you may not have seen before. Some of you have, okay? So what you see here at the bottom is a new link that was added to search results here, way at the bottom of the page. So it's a little bit tricky to see. But what you see here basically is you see a hint from Google saying that you may actually want to do your search again if you click on this link in a different language, okay? And what this is called is cross-language information retrieval. What's happening behind the scenes here is when I actually searched for this query here, Barcelona, Real Madrid in Arabic, what we did is we actually used Google Translate to translate this query to different languages, and then we issued that query in parallel to different backends that have different languages for the specific query. And what we noticed in this specific query was a signal that told us that there actually looks like for this specific query to be more content available in another language. And what we're trying to do here basically is surface more content available on the web to you in Arabic, in this specific case, because you may not understand English, you may not know Spanish, you may not know some of these other languages. And so what I'm trying to do in this situation is basically show you that there actually is more content available to you in another language. And in this case, when I actually click that link, the search was basically invoked again. But you'll see now there's a special box that appears, and it says basically, well, your query actually in English is this, and we've detected basically better search results, or different search results in this case. And you'll notice in this specific case here that all these websites that are being returned here are actually not written in Arabic. Each one of these are actually translated by Google Translate and rendered for you here in line, okay? So the first one here, BarcelonaRealMadrid.com, is actually an English website, okay? And what's happening now is when I click on that link, it actually is translating that whole website into Arabic for me. And so what you see here basically is BarcelonaRealMadrid.com, all completely translated in Arabic, okay? And so for those users that are actually not familiar with English, they can still get access to a lot of the wealth of information that is available on the web in the language that they can understand. And just to kind of show you that this is actually working correctly, I'll actually switch to the original website itself. And this is what the original website author intended when doing this specific website. So this is what it's supposed to look like, okay? So with that, I'm going to show you another demo. So what I'll show you now is this query that you may not have seen before, okay? So I'm going to do this query here. I don't know if everybody can see this. Okay, so the query I did was khksd space UOVL. So if I do this query on google.com, I get actually only one search result. But if I actually do this query in Arabic, I will get a very complete, very different search experience. Does anybody in the room know what this should actually be doing? Has anybody seen this before? Okay, so a couple, 3 or 4 people. So let's try this. Let's see what actually it's going to do. So I'll copy this. I'll go to an Arabic domain, and I'll type this, and I'll do the search very quickly, and see what it did, right? So this is a specific enhancement that we actually built for Arabic domains, okay? And so I typed in this very bizarre query in English in the Arabic UI of Google.jo. What we figured out basically based on existing query patterns is that when people type in potentially nonsensical queries like this, what they're really doing is they probably have an Arabic keyboard, they've switched the keyboard to English, now realize that they did this, they typed probably without looking, and then they hit enter. And so what we detected here basically is if we map each of those characters to the Arab equivalent, we actually get a very different search experience. And so what you see here basically is a query for Nancy Ajram. So if I click this, I get the typical search results that I would normally get if I actually were to do that search for Nancy Ajram. So it's just a specific example of some of the enhancements that we actually have available for Arabic. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question because I want to give out another mug. So what percentage of queries have at least one search result from an Arabic forum? Okay, and I believe Wa'il might have alluded to this in his presentation. Okay, to make it a little bit easier, here are your options: 65, 50, 35, or 10. Okay, so those are your 4 options. So let's see. So who wants a mug? Who really wants a mug? Who really is excited to get a mug today? Who cannot go home unless I show their mother a mug? No, you can't. You're in the front row. And somebody else. Okay, how about you over there waving your hand? 65? Okay, does everybody think? Okay, so look around you. They'll tell you the answer. Is it 65? Okay, so you are wrong. Okay, so let's actually try a different side of the room. Let's try this side here, somewhere in the middle. Let's see. How about you? Sorry? 35. 35% is the correct answer. Okay, so let's actually give her a mug. Congratulations. Your mother will be very proud of you today. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to show you some innovations that actually exist on Google Translate. Let me just check something. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of you have used Google Translate. I'm not going to bore you with the existing Translate UI that you've actually seen probably many times before. What I'm going to show you is something a little bit different. Okay, and one thing I've actually noticed in living in Switzerland is, first of all, in Zurich, I don't speak any German. Okay, and in a lot of cases, I have a lot of problems when I get SMSs from Swisscom, which is the mobile operator, and I don't really understand the SMSs that they're sending me because they're, of course, in German. So what I can do to solve that problem is I can use Google Translate and see if Google Translate can actually help me. So I have Google Translate loaded right here. Okay. What I can actually do now, this is actually a newer feature of Google Translate, I can actually translate any SMS that I've got. So you'll see here at the bottom left, there's a new button called SMS Translation. So as you might imagine, it's going to basically list all of the actual SMSs that I have. And here's an SMS that I got, right? So this is an SMS in German, okay? And all I have to basically do here is click on this SMS, and I have the SMS translated for me automatically. So in this case, it's basically saying that somebody tried to call me, and let's see, 2 times without leaving a message, and the last time was November 29th. So this is a good example of how you can use the base technology in Google Translate and do some really cool and innovative things. And there's, for those that are developers here in the room, there's an actual complete API available to you as a developer, so you can do things like this on your own. So the next example I'm going to show you is something called conversation mode. And I'm just going to get this set up for you. And while I'm getting this set up, I'll actually need a helper for this. And so I will get Sebastian, whom you all know, to come up to the stage. Okay, so I'm ready to go. Okay, so what I'm going to basically do in this situation is I'm going to show you a new feature that actually very recently launched within Translate called Conversation Mode. And again, for me in particular, at least living in another country where I don't understand or speak the language, I have a lot of benefit for this. So one time in Switzerland, I wanted to get my bike fixed, and I was trying to explain to the bike repair person that I wanted to fix my bike. And I didn't know how to say this because I'm speaking English, he's answering in German. And so we had this disconnect. So what I did is I basically used Google Translate, and then actually, I'd type into my phone, or I'd speak to my phone, and my phone would basically speak to the repair person. So he would understand what I was actually trying to say, but then he started talking back to me in German, and I couldn't, of course, understand. Well, let's see now what this new technology provides that can actually help me with that. So in this example, this use case, I'm going to be the person getting my bike fixed, and Sebastian will be the repairman, okay? And of course, we're talking about Switzerland. We'll assume it's near Geneva, so it's going to be French, because that's the other language he speaks. Okay? So, with that, I'll go ahead and get started. Hi, I would like to repair my bike.
Salut, je voudrais réparer mon vélo.
Okay?
Quel est le problème?
What is the problem?
I would like to change my brakes. I'll continue.
Je voudrais changer mes freins.
Pas de problème.
No problem.
Good. How much will it cost?
Combien cela va-t-il coûter?
20 euros.
€20.
Excellent. Thank you.
Excellent, merci.
Great. Thank you very much. Very easy. Whew, it worked. Okay. So this is a really good example of how you can actually see an interaction in the past that it might have been quite difficult, now actually quite easy. Of course, you're probably not going to be, on a mobile projector or holding your phone and going back and forth, but you can imagine some really cool things you can actually do with this. So for example, I'll give you a really good example that you can think about later on in the future. Is, for example, you've actually got a business partner, say in China, Japan, Korea, and you're on the phone with this person, say you're using voice over IP. You don't speak, of course, say Chinese. You speak Arabic. They speak Chinese, right? And typically, when you're talking to this person, it's next to impossible. You might have to resort to email. Well, you can imagine a world where you're speaking to your device in Arabic. We actually send that voice text to the cloud. We have it translated into Chinese. The receiver on the other end listens to it in Chinese, understands the intent of what you're saying, talks back in Chinese, gets sent to the cloud, has it converted, of course, to Arabic, and then you have this dynamic conversation happening back and forth. So you can imagine a world where something like this could potentially occur. Okay, so we're going to switch now to some more mobile innovations. And what I'm going to basically first mention to you here is the fact that when it's related to smartphones, you typically have a set of base features on the phone itself. So you have a speaker, you've got a camera, you've got a touch screen, you've got a GPS chip and a microphone. So if you think about it in terms of senses, right? So if we were to actually think from a sensory perspective, what do these specific basic features on a smartphone give us? So first of all, with speaker, you're going to get voice. You can talk. With a camera, the phone can actually see now. With touchscreen, you can actually get the skin response or feel. In addition to, of course, location with GPS. And then with microphone, allows your phone to basically hear. Okay? So with that, I want to ask you another question. This is another quiz. And the question basically is, which mobile platform drives the highest search traffic in Jordan? And the basic answers here are the four following ones. And this answer actually comes out of Wael's presentation. So how about in the back, the second last row in the back? Second last row. Yes, so the answer is Symbian. So let's give him a mug. Let me ask you another question. What do you think is the fastest growing platform? So this is very different than the previous answer. So we're going to switch back now to the middle. Let's see. Let's have the front row here. Okay, so, all right. So turn around and let's see if they agree with you. You don't want to turn around. Okay, I'm sorry. That is not the right answer. Let's go to this section right here. Let's see. How about, yes, you in the suit. Windows Mobile. Wow, that's definitely wrong. Okay. Okay, let's see. How about in this section right here on the far right? iPhone? Yes, the answer is iPhone. All right, third's a charm. So let's give you a mug also for that answer. Okay, so I'm going to now switch over to one of the mobile innovations that we also have launched. You may not have heard about it. It's called Chrome to Phone. Chrome to Phone basically allows you within a Chrome browser, whether you're using basically laptop, desktop, it doesn't matter, a tablet, or any device with Chrome on it, even Google TV, it allows you basically to push information from your Chrome browser directly to your mobile device, okay? And so what I'm going to show you basically are some really cool ideas that you can actually use for that specifically. So I'm going to switch over now. And the situation here is I'm actually looking to go to Dubai, and I want to learn more about the specific area, right? So I'll switch to maps here. And I basically see what the specific area looks like here on maps. Okay? So for example, say I'm actually looking at this, and I'm in a rush. I have to close my laptop. I need to leave, but I want to continue this experience on my phone. So what you typically have to do is you bring up your phone, do the same search, and then continue from that point onwards. Well, what if I could just basically click a button very quickly within my browser and then have the phone automatically do that for me? Okay? So what you see here basically at the top is a Chrome extension. And you can see it right here. This is the Chrome to Phone extension, which you can actually download today. And what this will actually do, this will send the state information here specifically on this page to the cloud. You have to be logged in, of course. You'll see that I'm actually logged in right now. Okay? It'll send it to the cloud and then basically send a notification to your mobile device to tell it to fetch some new information coming from the server. Okay? So what I'm going to do basically now is I'm going to switch over, and I'll show you what that can actually look like. All right. So I'm going to have to do this pretty quickly so you see how quick it actually will render. And I'll need the microphone here also, just for a later demo. Just leave it here. Okay, so I'm going to click here and switch over. And if all goes well, something will happen. And, okay, so does the push point appear? Okay, so the push point doesn't appear. Let's try that again, actually. Let's do this. Let's switch over. And let's go to where we are today. So this is where we are currently. I'm going to try that once more. Okay, it really likes Haman for some reason. Let's try this one last time, and then we're going to move on to the next one. All right. So I'll click the button again. Oh, this is my mistake, actually. I see the problem. Okay. So let me switch back and show you what I did. Okay. So there actually is no query currently here. So what I need to do is do this. Okay. Okay, and then I'll switch over now. And what you'll see now, it actually goes ahead and actually does the actual query itself that I did, and then renders the exact same thing. So that's basically what you would get actually with an example of Chrome to Phone. So let me show you another example here. So I'm actually going to switch back now to this device here. And let's say I want to search for hotels in a specific area. So what I'll do is I'll just click on the actual location here at the push pin, and I'll say search nearby, and let's have it find me some hotels specifically in this area. Okay? So basically what I'm doing now is I've done another search for hotels very close to the Dubai Marina, and I see here on the left all the hotels that are very close to where I am currently in this push pin. And in this case, let's say I like this Dusit Residence Dubai Marina Hotel. What I can do, for example, here is I can select this phone number, okay, and I can push this phone number to my device. So I'm going to right-click here, and you'll see a new handler here appearing that says Chrome to Phone. So what I can do now basically is, of course, click this, and then hopefully, if things work well, I'll see the phone number appear on my phone. Okay, and there's the phone number. So very quick. So for example, I want to continue now. Okay, you like that? And I can dial this phone number. Okay, you'll see something appear in the system tray if all goes well. So you see at the top here, it actually detected that, we think we recognize this phone number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what actually happened. And basically the situation here occurred is that we actually recognize the phone number you were dialing. And what we can do in this case, say you're on your Bluetooth headset, we can actually basically serve more information about the specific phone number you're dialing. In this case, we know it's this actual hotel right here. And while you're on the phone, you can say you can look at any of this information coming from Maps itself. So another powerful way of actually doing this interaction back and forth. I'll switch back now. And also just mention very quickly, and I'll get to the next demo, you can copy any text that you see on any page within Chrome. And if you actually do that, what it'll actually do in this case, it will copy that text to the clipboard of the mobile device. So if you're copying a lot of text en masse and you don't want to deal with a lot of typing and sending emails back and forth, you can just highlight any text and then send it to your phone. Okay? You can also send any link. You can send YouTube videos and things of that nature. Okay, so I'm going to show you now something called voice actions. Voice actions is a new Android technology that basically allows you, rather than actually typing within your phone itself, you can actually talk to your phone to tell it to do things for you. So I'm going to switch over now, and I'll show you an example. So yesterday I was actually quite tired during the day, and I went back to my hotel room, and I wanted to take a quick hour nap. So what you typically do in that case is you pick up your phone, you'd look at the phone to see what time it currently is, you'd add 60 minutes to that, and then set your alarm to that time. What if I could just forget all of that, pick up my phone, and just say, set my alarm for an hour from now? Let's see if I can do that. Set alarm to 1 hour. Okay? So there you go. So basically what it did here in this case, it knew what time it currently is, it added 1 hour, and it's telling me, do I want to set the alarm for 1 hour from now? All I do is I basically hit set at this point, and you see at the bottom here a notification saying the alarm is going to go off in 58 or 59 minutes from now. You can also do some other really cool features with voice actions. So I'll show you another one. Say I have some songs on my device here. What you typically have to do is pick up your phone, jog through the different playlists, and actually have it play a song for you. What I can actually do is just tell my phone, play a song for me. Let's try that. Listen to World Cup song. Okay, so it knows I want to listen to the song. I hit go. And then you can see the song actually playing right away. So very quick. Another example of how quick it is to actually initiate voice actions off of your cell phone. All right, let's actually show you a couple more really interesting ones that I find personally very useful. So for example, obviously I work at Google. Sometimes I go back to Mountain View and I have meetings where I'm a little bit late. You probably know that Arabs, we tend to run a little bit late than other people. And in this case, what I want to do is I want to send a message to Larry Page because I'm in my car and I'm running late. I want to just let him know, hey, listen, I'm running late. I'll be there shortly. So let's see if I can do that very quickly. Send SMS to Larry Page. Sorry, I'm running late. Okay, and there you have it. Very quick. So you see how quick that is. And so if anybody's squinting to see the phone number, that is not Larry Page's phone number. So don't get too excited about that. Okay, another example. So say in your car, you want to navigate to a specific location. Typically, you'd pick up your GPS device, your mobile phone, you type in an address, and then you'd have it navigate for you. Well, in the spirit of voice actions, let's avoid all of this nonsense. Let me just tell the phone to do exactly what I want to do. In this case, I want to find navigation directions to the Marriott Hotel. Navigate to Marriott. Okay, so very quickly it says, sounds like you want to navigate to the Marriott Hotel. I didn't hit anything. It automatically actually launches Google Maps navigation, and it's going to try and calculate driving directions. So the first thing it did, you'll notice, is that it's actually using that sense we talked about before, which is GPS location. So you notice I didn't say Marriott Amman, Marriott Jordan, or anything like that. We basically figured out, based on your location, you probably mean Marriott somewhere close to where I am currently right now. So in this case, let me just pick the one at the Dead Sea, and let's have it actually calculate the directions for me. So you see very quickly, it said basically it's going to take me 50 minutes, and it's going to be 53 kilometers. So I can look, of course, at the map here itself. I can see the different directions it's going to take me. And I can, of course, go back and so on and so forth. And of course, because it's using GPS, as I continue through this trajectory, it's going to continually update. You'll also see here the various directions that it's pointing out to me as I continue to drive. So I can click on any one of these, if I so chose, and it'll actually go ahead and anchor me directly onto that specific position on the map. So that's another very cool feature that we've got with voice actions. So I'm going to switch over now to Goggles. Has anybody used Goggles before? Okay, so not too many people. So I'm going to show you what Goggles actually can do for you. So Goggles is basically one of the products we've launched in the machine vision space. And we were talking before about the fact that your device itself, your phone device, has eyes and can see. So I'm going to show you some examples of some of the cool things you can do with Goggles. So I'm assuming some people know what this little mountain is, right? Just yes or no? Okay, yes? Okay. So when I first looked at this, I had no idea what I was looking at. So let me see if I can actually take a picture of this with my phone and see if Google can tell me what it is. So I'll basically come over here. I will take a picture. You can see what I'm doing. Okay. And I'll slide over very quickly. And there it is. So very quickly, you can see machine vision now in action at Google. So basically, it detected that this is probably some mountain, specifically at Wadi Rum. In this case, I can actually search through the different results here. I can click through, say, for example, the first link here, and continue my search experience. So you can imagine you might actually be at this location. You might have your device in your hand. You just want to learn more about it. You take a picture, and you see what Google can tell you about it. So I'll show you some other examples. Let me see if you know this one. Do you know who this person is? Do people know? Okay. So I know who this person is. I didn't know when I saw this picture, actually. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take another picture of this and see what it tells me. By the way, before I take this picture, just so you know, the way this technology works is that I just can't take a picture of a random person and then Google tell me who that person is. So don't feel scared that it's going to be invading your privacy. It really works with people that are very famous. So don't worry. I'm not taking a picture of anybody here, and I hope nobody else does. So I'll take a picture of this allegedly famous person, and I'll slide back very quickly and see if Goggles can actually analyze this. And there it is. So very quick. Pretty cool, isn't it? I'd show you one more. See if you like this one. Okay, so this other instance is basically another situation that I have in Switzerland. So I'm driving a lot. I see parking signs that I don't really understand because they're in German. Okay? So what I can do with Goggles again, and this actually gets into the space of optical character recognition, OCR, I can take a picture of this image. It can detect that there's text on this page, extract it, and then translate it again using Google Translate. So what I'll do is I'll just get my phone set up for Translate. Okay, great. And then I'll take a picture of this. Let's see what it does. Okay, and so for those that speak German, you know exactly what this says. I had no idea when I saw this. Okay, so what you basically see here now is a different search result or a different result coming from Google Goggles. So in this case, basically, it has detected some text on the page, and it has now what appears right below that is this translate button. So what I can do, in this case, I can just click on the translate button and see what this little message here is telling me. And there you have it, very quick. One button click away, it tells me, first of all, looks like German. I'm going to translate it now for you in English. Does this look right for people that speak German? Yeah? Great. So that's another example of what you can do with Goggles. Let's switch back now. Okay. And this is my last demo for you. And this is, at least for me, the one that I find the most exciting. And this, I just need to clarify, this is a product, or actually a tool that hasn't yet launched at all. And this is going to be really more useful for those that are looking to bridge the gap between online advertising and offline advertising, okay? So this is also in the area of augmented reality. So what I have here, what I have in front of me here is basically a magazine ad, okay? So I don't know if everybody can see that. Let's see if you can see that on the screen. So can everybody see this? So this is ad basically for a 2010 Ford Mustang. It's this blue Mustang. So imagine a world where you can basically use the eyes of your phone to interact live with the image you're seeing on the screen here. So I'm going to make this image here come to life. Let's see if this actually is going to work. Okay? So here's the actual image. And here's this little tool that we actually currently have in research. Okay, there you have it. That image now is currently in 3D. You'll notice I can basically turn my page. I can see this car from any angle I so choose. I can go up, I can go down, I can look at it from the other end. Sorry, a little bit of a glare problem. Right there. Basically, I can do this, I can come around, I can come from many different angles here. The nice thing, you'll notice actually on this specific ad that I'm showing here, there's no QR code, there's no UPC, there's nothing of that nature. We basically detected that there's a Mustang on this page from the publisher, and we can now render richer information about this on a mobile device or even on desktop. Okay? So this might be an ad in a magazine, it might be in a book, it might be a billboard that actually might be on an actual street corner, for example. So you can imagine a world where you see a big billboard and you're on the street. You actually look at it, and from that point onwards, say it's a new album that's that's actually launching, you can take a picture of that and then interact with that album live on your phone. You can listen to the songs on it, you can preview it, you may be even to eventually download that specific song. And with that, I want to very quickly mention that I don't have time to show you any demos for Chrome OS. Later on this afternoon, I believe at 3:15, there's going to be a full-fledged session just on Chrome OS. So if you're interested in Chrome OS, I strongly urge you to attend that session. And with that, thank you very much.